Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So my main daily driver is the top of the line iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the SIM over to the iPhone 16e for 24 hours and tell you honestly on the features that I really miss. This is going to be fun guys, let's get started. Just before proceeding, a lot of hard work goes into these videos guys, so please do support, hit that like button and do subscribe if you're visiting my channel for the first time. So right away, smaller and lighter iPhone feels great in hands. My past 4 iPhones have been Pro Max models, so I kind of forgot what a joy it is to carry a super light iPhone. And the 16e currently is the lightest of all the iPhones which Apple officially sells. I really like that look of the 16e with its frosted white back and with the single camera setup which looks clean and minimal. Now, screen bezels are thicker here, especially if you use the bare iPhone without any case, if you compare it with the 16 Pro and Pro Max, but I always use my iPhone with a case, and when you put a case on, this thing isn't as glorified as how it does without the cases. Then we have notch versus dynamic island. Both for me feel pretty similar, as I don't really like that dynamic island that much. I mean, I don't like how content spills over when you have the dynamic island. I prefer the look of the notch, but dynamic island does act as a button, and the most times I use it is to view, pause, alarms and music, and I really like how you can just tap on it to stop your screen recording. So notch versus dynamic island, it is not something which I'm hugely concerned about, and I can certainly live with the notch. Screens wise, both are OLED panels, which is nice, so content does look brilliant on both of them. I'm used to bigger screen phones and I thought I would need quite a bit of readjustment, but surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. Questioning my choice in first place on why I went for Pro Max size. I mean, even 6.1 inches is big for my relatively small sized hands, and 6.9 inches, it's no way, it's almost impossible for me to use it one-handed on certain actions, gestures and menus, especially when I need it. Also guys, I use LumaFusion to edit videos on my iPhone, and I thought that would be cramped on the smaller screen, but surprisingly, it felt okay. 6.1 inches is certainly a decent size where you don't feel that you're missing too much on the screen real estate. At the same time, things don't feel too cramped. Now for the same video editing, I transfer files shot on other cameras via external SSD, and since the USB-C port on 16e only supports 2.0 speeds, it is painfully slow. I mean, here is a 10GB folder. Let me copy that across and see how long it takes on my 16e, and wow, that nearly took 5 minutes. The same on my 16 Pro Max took just 32 seconds. Wow, I never even bothered to compare speeds of USB 2 to USB 3 because this switch happened on the Pro Max models, but this is really mind-blowing. 32 seconds against 4 minutes 40 seconds. That is simply incredible, and if you're going to do this frequently, you'll notice that huge difference. But mind you guys, even the iPhone 16 just gets USB 2.0, and if you want that USB 3 speeds, then you need to go all the way up to the Pros. Next, 120Hz versus 60Hz. Android users mock Apple for not offering faster refresh rate on their phones unless it is that expensive Pro lineup. But guys, in real life, does that make a huge difference? Honestly, just the scroll feels smooth. But besides that, on a day-to-day tasks, I don't really find this as such a big missing feature. Makes me wonder if tech enthusiasts make 120Hz a much bigger deal than what actually it adds to your smartphone experience. I mean, yes, if you're a designer, then it does help, or if you play super competitive online gaming, then that instant responsiveness will give you that added advantage. But if you're into that resource intensive requirement, why would you actually look at a budget phone? Conclusion, 120Hz for me is a personal preference. I like the smoothness because I got used to it. Otherwise, it doesn't make a huge difference in iPhone user experience, especially when iOS is super smooth and it makes up for the absence of that higher refresh rate. Then the peak brightness, we have 800 nits against 1000 nits on the Pro Max. And as you can see, both phones are fairly usable under direct bright sunlight. Then battery life guys, now this has been incredible on the 16e, even better than my 16 Pro Max, as 120Hz screen and that always on display does eat into the battery life. I feel for the size of the 16E, I get almost the same battery life as my 16 Pro Max on a heavy day's usage. Whatever Apple did here with that new battery technology, the new silicon and Apple C1 modem, I'm eagerly waiting to see when they bring it to the next iPhone 17 Pro series, as that is going to be incredible. Still staying on battery, let's talk about MagSafe. That one feature which even I was surprised when I found out that Apple didn't include it. Mainly because not of MagSafe charging, but because of docks and stands which I like to use. See guys, I'm not a huge fan of MagSafe of wireless charging because it never is as fast as wired charging, and then your phone gets abnormally hot, which I absolutely don't like. So MagSafe charging for me always has been convenience, and at times when I'm out and about and running low on battery. But there is a simple solution here. You get a MagSafe case. Most third-party manufacturers do this, like ESR Gear here, and you get that MagSafe connection which is super strong as well. Yes, you don't get that faster wireless charging speeds, but still you can happily use all the docks, wallet attachments and other MagSafe accessories. And I'm that guy who never uses my iPhone without a case on. It's just a shame that Apple's silicon case doesn't offer MagSafe, and I really like Apple's silicon cases. I need to single out and mention about speakers guys, as even in such a small form factor here, the speakers on the 16E sound incredible. Here, listen to this. And then the operating system is exactly the same as my 16 Pro Max, full support to all the features of iOS 18, including Apple Intelligence. There really is nothing which is missing here guys. Usually lower end models do not support all features when compared to higher end phones, but that's not the case with iPhone 16e. Every feature, including the more resource intensive ones, are supported as well. Next, coming to the processor, we have A18 Pro against A18 here. There's no doubt that the A18 Pro is much more efficient, but on day-to-day tasks, I don't see a difference at all. Everything works pretty smooth, and even on some resource-intensive apps like LumaFusion here, guys, I have loaded a 10-minute 4K video project along with multiple audio tracks, and you can see it is as smooth as how it is on my 16 Pro Max. Just exporting this 10-minute 4K video project in LumaFusion, it took twice as long compared to what my 16 Pro Max does. Next, let's talk about the biggie here, which obviously is the camera. Just one single lens. That too, it's not the same one as the primary camera on the 16 Pro Max, as the 16E one has got a smaller aperture, and this sure is going to impact, right? Well, the result which I got left me surprised, because in good lighting conditions, the pictures are as good as my Pro Max, and mostly, even on my Pro Max, I always stick to the primary camera. We do get that 2x optical zoom, which I feel is a decent option to have. And yes, action mode is missing along with cinematic mode and spatial video. They're all good to have in a camera, but you have to understand that you'll have to pay more in order to get them, not just with Apple, but even with any other smartphone out there. If you're looking for that decent all-round camera features, then you certainly will have to pay more. And then yes, low light photography does suffer here, but if you're going to stick to better lighting conditions, then this phone really takes great pictures. Also, I shoot all my YouTube videos with an iPhone, guys, and the ones which I shot with my 16E do look good, but you miss that nice depth which I get with shots on my 16 Pro Max. If you see the difference here, you can clearly see how the background is nicely blurred out and you get that super professional quality videos on the 16 Pro Max. So this really for me is that biggest compromise and was one of the true times when I feel that I really miss my 16 Pro Max. Also, I have 256GB storage on the Pro Max against 128 here. I mean, I've gotten used to 256 and became lazy. I kept a lot of pictures and videos on my iPhone that I shot for YouTube, but I can really do a bit of house cleaning and be fine with that 128GB. So at the end of 24 hours, what do I feel about the iPhone 16e? Well, I certainly got a clear picture of what that E stands for, and I feel it means essentials, because this phone gives you exactly that basic essentials which are a must on a smartphone. You have very good design, decent base storage, decent screen, excellent battery, super future-proof processor, and a camera that does good for majority of pictures which people usually take and share on social media and along with their friends. So what's there to complain? Well, probably the price. $599 or 599 pounds here in the UK is a bit more, especially when you can get iPhone 15 for just 40 pounds more here in the UK from authorized resellers. Yes, you'll miss out on Apple Intelligence, but you get a better screen, better cameras, all those extra modes, and nice vibrant colors as well. That is my biggest issue with the iPhone 16e. Had this phone been priced $100 less, then it would have really sold like hotcakes. Don't know, maybe Apple will realize this as well and lower the cost, we shall see. But that's been my 24-hour experience with the iPhone 16e coming from a 16 Pro Max. What are your thoughts, guys? Did you like my video? Whatever it is, please do comment down below and let me know. Also, like you see, it's been really hard work, guys, filming this video. So please show that simple support, hit that like button and subscribe if you're visiting to my channel for the first time so I can keep making videos like this. It's been a lengthy video. If you've stayed until the end, thanks a lot for fully watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.